What's up? JuiceMonsta88 here to review you the latest WiiWare game that's one of my favorite video game series, Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth. Before I start the review, let me tell you the history. This game is actually a remake of a Game Boy title called Castlevania The Adventure that was released in 1989. It was one of the first Castlevania games on the handheld and Konami's first Game Boy title of all time. I remember playing that game on the emulator like 6 years ago, and it was one of the hardest Castlevania games I ever played because it has no sub-weapons and the 4 stages are crazy in the game. But I managed to beat that game though. Alright, let's cut to the chase. Let's talk about the new one.
Now let's talk about the new Castlevania game on the Wii. You play as Christopher Belmont, an ancestor of Simon Belmont and a descendant of Trevor Belmont, who goes on a quest to Dracula Castle, aka Castlevania, to destroy Dracula, as usual like every Castlevania game storyline. The gameplay is an old school style 2D game, which I'm very happy to see, because we haven't seen a console version of 2D Castlevania game in a while since Castlevania Chronicles on the PS1. Most of the 2D Castlevania games of the 21st century are in handheld systems like the Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, and the PSP. In this one, you have sub-weapons, lots of enemies though, lots of crazy enemies though, like skeletons, mud zombies, bats, evil armors, wingless crows, yeah, wingless crows, how creative, and more. And my favorite, the chain whip that shoots out fireballs. There are 6 stages in the game, and let me tell you through it. Stage 1, 2, and 3 are kinda easy, and stage 4, 5, 6 are hard as hell. The controls in the game is like an old school NES style, so the Wii Remote held sideways, so it's easy, simple to pick up. But the Wii Remote controls is not the only options in this game. There are other options. I'll get to that later. The graphics in the game has really impressive visuals for a 2D Castlevania game, and the music in this game are both arranged versions of past Castlevania games. But it sounds like it's from the Sega Genesis. Whatever. It was good. Let's get back on the gameplay. There are also other ways to go to the next area by finding the key to unlock the next area, if you don't feel like going to the original area. Throughout the middle of the stage, you have the sub-boss battle. Some of them are easy and sometimes tricky, same as the main boss battle. Speaking of a main boss battle, the first stage boss is the giant eyeball. Yeah, a giant eyeball. The developers must have laughed their ass off. Now the stage I have most problem is the stage 5, because the enemies of the games are getting stronger and smarter. They give it all they got to stop me, and they ain't fucking around. The reason why I have a hard times on stage 5 because I kept died, That damn Medusa head fuck! Yeah, the further you go, the harder it goes. I buck up and kept going and play this game. I did manage to reach to Dracula, but Dracula looks like a rip-off character for Trinity Blood. When you beat Dracula in his first form, he turned into a giant bat. When you beat him in the second form, you thought it was over, right? No! His third and final form, he turned into a statue-head Dracula. What the hell was that about? Overall, Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth is fun and it's hard. And sad thing, it's short. A short Castlevania game. If you're looking for a good quick fix Castlevania game so you can get rid of that bad taste Castlevania game like Judgment, then this game is just for you.
Okay, before I end this review, remember I told you there are more option controls in this game? Well, here it is.
Not only did they have the old school style controls, they had the nunchuck controls that you plug into Wii Remote that have the swing mode. That's right, you can use your Wii Remote as a whip and a nunchuck for movement.
Okay, that was cool and all. A 2D Castlevania game with motion controls is okay, but a 3D Castlevania game with motion control will be awesome. I mean, I'm glad it had the options in it, but something you get in the moment says, why you need those? Why you definitely need those? And I have to say is, for the challenge in hard mode. And the other controls, like the Wii Classic controller and the GameCube controller, what's the point using those? If what's wrong with the Wii remote? It's not enough for you? I guess the Wii remote is not enough for them, so they put like GameCube controller and the Wii Classic controller. What are they thinking about that? We don't need those. We need a Wii remote and the freaking nunchuck. That's it. Whatever. It's for people who like those styles of controls. I recommend to download this game, this Castlevania game, if you're a fan of it. It's only 1,000 points, or I should say, $10. Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth gets an 8 out of 10.